Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On a Friday morning in 2002, I was traveling from Dallas Airport in Washington, D.C. to Missouri State in North America. And I was going to give a Friday khutbah and then train some young people on calling the non-Muslims to Islam Dawah workshop. And that was a 2-day program on the weekend. The plane would take off so early, before 7 a.m. So I arrived at the airport about just before Fajr prayer, which was about like 5:30 or so. And I waited in the departure hall, reviewing the Friday's khutbah, which I was going to give. So I had it printed in some notes with me. And it was titled, The Spirit of Prayer, in English, of course. Also, the notes and the papers which were with me were all in English. And there were some Quran ayat in them in Arabic, but obviously they were all talking about prayers. And the khutbah was so spiritual. When it was time to pray Fajr, I stood up right in my place and I prayed. And there were only like 4 to 5 passengers waiting in the hall. It was so early, about 5:30 in the morning. And the airport just opened its doors like a short while ago. By the way, domestic airports in the US are not open 24/7. No, they get closed at night every night and they open in the morning. So they were not 24 hours working. So I sat down to review my speech. And after a while, a coffee shop opened in the airport. So I left the khutbah notes on my seat and went to buy a cup of coffee. It was close, it wasn't far, 20 to 30 meters far from my seat. Within 5 minutes, I got my coffee and came back, but I did not find the notes on my seat. The sermon, the khutbah that I'm supposed to give, is not on my seat. And my bag was there. The bag that had my laptop was there. Searching here and there, I couldn't find them. So I asked a janitor who used to pick up trash and waste. He said that no janitor came to my hall yet to clean. And I started asking the passengers who were waiting around me. At that time, they became like 8 or 9 people. None of them replied at all. They did not deny, but they didn't also reply at all. I'm asking them, have you seen my notes that were on the seat? They just look at me like that and they don't reply. So no one has seen my papers, guys. No one is replying to me. No one is talking to me. Notably, the boarding gate was opened and the passengers started to get on the plane. They lined up. So I went and I lined up with them and I stood in the queue to board the plane. And suddenly I saw my notes in the hands of one of the airline staff. So I got out from the queue and I went to tell him that these notes are mine. Where did you find them? And I've been searching for them for a while. He looked down on me and said to me, so these notes are yours? I said, yes. Then he got on the plane and came back with the captain. But the captain went to the counter pretending that he is printing something or doing something on the computer screen while he was looking at me head to toe. After a minute, I found police coming from different directions. So I felt like something is going on. And I found that I was surrounded by policemen, like 5 people. And then the airline employee stepped forward in front of them and told me, the captain is not happy with you on board. Which means that he's not happy with my presence on the plane. I asked him, am I supposed to make your captain happy? Am I responsible for the happiness of your captain? He said to me, don't waste your time, it's done. You are already denied boarding. Then he said, look, I appreciate the feelings of disappointment and anger I acknowledge them actually, that you are going through right now. And that's why I tell you that you won't get on board, but don't waste time. For that reason, they of course brought the police to tell me that there must be policemen around the passenger, so that if the passenger gets agitated, the police will take control of him. Actually, I'm the last person on earth who could get agitated. So I looked at him as such quietly and told him, I neither have any feelings of anger nor disappointment. I am just thinking about the compensation sum that your company will pay me if my sermon, which you are holding in your hand, is not given at 12 o'clock in Missouri State. That's it. Which means I'm gonna sue this company. Within 2 minutes, he was handing me a plane ticket of another airline going to the same airport. They bought it at their expense. I said, Subhanallah. So I am not a danger to your airlines. I'm sorry. So I am a danger to your airlines, but not a danger to United Airlines? Well, the taking off was after about half an hour, and there was nothing in the papers that he had, even about jihad or sharia, nothing, or caliphate, nothing, none of these words. Just things about prayers, very spiritual text. But there were some signs of the Quran that were written in Arabic. That was it. Just because it's something Islamic and something is in Arabic, this scared them. That's what I learned from some people who work in the security of the airport. It's the Arabic words that made them afraid. On the plane, I just got surprised by what I did not expect to happen. I always used to put in my shirt, in my pocket here, an MP3 recorder to record my speech. At that time, there was no YouTube yet. It was Allah's decree that the recorder was on unintentionally, and the entire argument between the plane crew and myself was recorded. Then I met a specialist, a lawyer who is specialized in cases of discrimination and persecution and racial discrimination. And I told him that I knew that any recording without the authorities' permission will not be recognized as evidence in court, but this is a recording that maybe it can help him. And it happened to be recording at that time. So he told me this recording isn't recognized in any state except in Virginia, where we used to live. I used to live in the DC area, which is a part of it is in North Virginia. And he said, only in North Virginia, this is recognized under one condition, that none of the parties knew that it was recording. I said, then that's fine, because I didn't know that it was recording. So he said, this way it will be accepted, because this is how they even investigated Bill Clinton in the sexual harassment suit in Virginia, because no parties knew that there was some type of recording happening. So because of that, he told me, because of that, and you said that you did not know that your device was recording, we can still include it in our lawsuit against the airlines. I told him, I swear to God, I did not know that the device was recording. Even you would find 55 minutes before the conversation that took place between them and me, while flipping the papers, you will see that I am just reviewing my papers, buying a coffee, and making my salah. Next day he called me and he said, I blame you. I said, why? He said, you lied to me. You told me you did not know that this device was recording, but you knew it was recording the conversation between you and them. I told him, I swear to God, I did not know that the device was recording. He said, that's impossible. No one will believe that. Your tone of voice was so quiet. You were told you would not get on board. You are denied boarding, but you were not angry or upset in the least. No judge will believe that at all. That you did not know that you were recording them. It is not, it's a normal to feel some discomfort, but you didn't sound any discomfortable. So I said to myself, well, this is the chance to do some da'wah to this lawyer. He was a non-Muslim lawyer. I told him, then let me explain the 6 articles of faith in Islam. And of course, one of them is the divine destiny, al-qadr. It's goodness and badness, you have to accept. Sweetness and bitterness, you have to accept. And I asked him, who knows whether what is going on is really good or really bad? So if we don't know what's happening is really good and really bad, why do we exaggerate in our feelings of happiness or sadness? To believe in the divine destiny is to exchange those 2 feelings, the happiness and sadness, with the feeling of acceptance and contentment. So I prefer not to be pleased with that rather and get sad and so on. Anyway, he told me this is really deep, but it won't be recognized by a judge. The story has details, but of course I have to be conservative about it in order not to cause any harm for anyone, because there are still people who are involved in this that are still there in the Muslim community and in these, organizations that were trying to help me sue the airlines, and they may be harmed by my speech. So I would put some reservations on telling the rest, and because I had to withdraw my lawsuit from court because there was some pressure put on me. But the lesson I learned is that you may make a mistake that causes you big trouble, and you may embroil in trouble without making any mistake or anything. Here you should know that God is testing your patience and faith. Allah is the Most High, and He said, do people think that they will be left to say, we believe, without being tested? So everything that is happening to you is a test. Calm down and deal with any test with wisdom and patience. Allah said, yet certainly we have tested those before them. Thus Allah will surely know the truthful, and He will surely know the liars. I read this ayah from the Quran with my heart and contemplate it with my heart by putting myself in it. My name is Fadel, as if it will be like, does Fadel think that he will be left to say, I believe, without being tested? Because the ayah says, do you think you will be left claiming faith without being tested? So it's as if saying, do I think that I'll be left to claim being faithful without being tested? Yes, it's not a must to make a mistake, to be put in a difficult situation. Yet certainly we have, Allah says, yet certainly we have tested those before you, which is before Fadl. Thus Allah will surely know the truthful, and He will surely know the liars. Allah tests me to see if I'm honest or not about my faith. So with this, I have to tell you that you need to deal with wisdom and with patience in any situation. And Jazakumullah khairan, and see you inshallah again.